This is Sharon with Enteleki Visions, and this is an energy update for the week of August 17th through August 23rd. So we had a really big energy week this past week, following that full moon and the Lion's Gate that really brought in some very powerful and clean, sweeping kind of energy for our lives. So you may have found that this past week you were moving through quite a bit, not just on an emotional, mental level, physical level as well, but everything kind of shifting in your life. So this may have brought about a lot of truths that were exposed in your life. You may have found that you had experiences of some very raw and at times emotional and honest conversations with others. So this particular past week was very pivotal as we move towards the remaining part of this year, as it was really anchoring in this new sense of light, this new sense of dismantling that allowed us to experience a kind of electric energy that really is piercing through everything and everyone this month. So there's a quality to what we're experiencing now at this point in the month that feels almost like a calm before a storm. There are things that are very frenetic right now as this time period brought in that kind of dispersing quality, but there's also this quality of that calm, of feeling as though there is this eerie stillness before this kind of building or electric feeling in the air before a big storm. And this calmness that is existing simultaneously is this effect of the light, of this anchoring in of this new light, of being solid in this new way, of this future vision of what is possible, and really rooting into that as a truth and a reality, while all of this kind of frenetic and scattered energy is also taking place. So it's pretty wild how they are both occurring at the same time. So you may notice different qualities of that within your own life and within yourself, of this sense of maybe being present with what is, or taking one day at a time, or trusting, and just knowing and intuiting that all is well, but at the same time witnessing and being this observer of this crumbling and scattered quality that's occurring within you at times and around you also. So this is all a quality of the amplified energy that is coming in right now. And I was also being shown a sense of like a fractal. And when you think of a fractal, it's really like a spawning off of an original design, of an original origin of something. And so this is kind of what's happening with the old energy, is that the light comes in and it's scattering it, it's fractalizing it, and it's breaking it up and transforming it or reforming it into a new pattern, into a new structure, and helping to transmute and shift the old, denser, lower vibrational structures within it. And I know that's kind of a more kind of vague vision with it, but that's what I was being shown, is how it's being transformed, how the old is really shifting on a foundational and energetic level in our reality. So with that, we are also building towards our new lives. And you may find that this is amplifying even more for you this month, as this month is really fueled by the energy of creativity. And it's also the end point of the summer. So August is very much that kind of dog days of the summer and that harvest season. So we are building up towards that harvest, and we are symbiotically connected to nature and the cycles of the seasons. So the harvest time is really coming about right now. So you may find that in your own life, there is some kind of harvest that is ready to emerge. And you may be called to sharing of some kind of creation, sharing of some kind of new project, some new service, some new reveal in your life. So as we build towards this harvest and we are ready to reveal some kind of new creation or something that we have adapted to through these times, that we've had many, many days and many, many months to really kind of uncover how to really adapt to these times. And not all of that has been easy. A lot of it has not been easy. So we have kind of reformed innovation out of necessity. And so we've reshaped something for ourselves to adapt to these times so that it fits better into our changing reality. And as we are ready to reveal maybe these new adaptations or this act of service that we would like to offer to the world at this time, this is presently being fueled by this upcoming new moon that we're going to be having this week, which falls on Tuesday and is in the sign of Leo. And this new moon is very much a fiery and very passionate new moon. So it's very, very fueled by fire, very, very fueled by creation, and also very, very fueled by love, which Leo is the sign that's all about love. When you think of a lion, which is the symbol for Leo, kind of the heart of a lion, having that courage, having that pride, having that strength and sovereignty and empowerment to really stand up in the face of any adversity and to shine the light of your heart into that adversity, to be of service, to stand tall, to stand proud. So that's the quality of the energy that this new moon is going to be bringing. However, it's also going to be playing out with a sense of holding on to an ideal within those creations. So there's a lot taking place in the world right now, and the creativity and the passion, we can kind of hang on to that as a sense of inspiration, which is a really beneficial thing. It's really helpful. However, there is also this reality at play. There is also all that is changing and all that is now needed in our world that may have been quite different as this year began. So we have to keep that in mind with this new moon. And it's really bringing up that truth for this week, is that we have to remember the bigger vision within this, that we can't kind of hang on to that idealism of our creation. We have to remember the reality that's actually taking place, and also to keep in mind the greater whole, to keep in mind the unified vision and also the future path for all of us as a planet. So with the creation and whatever you may be birthing, and even if you aren't necessarily working on some kind of tangible project, there could be something that is getting ready to be birthed within you. Whether that is something that is emotional, whether that is something that is just a new sense of self, something that you have come to terms with, that you are now resolving, you are letting go of, you are healing, you are stepping into a new way for your own self, emotionally, mentally. So with that, we just have to keep in mind as we're birthing that, as we're creating this in the weeks ahead, the future vision for the whole. And they go hand in hand. So not to get too idealized on what we are creating, but to remember that we can combine that under the umbrella of what exactly is needed in the world and for all of humanity. So we do have a particular alignment that is kind of already working its way into our lives, which you may be noticing. And I don't want to stress it too much, but over the course of the next several months, this particular alignment, Mars going retrograde, will be having an influence and impact on our lives. This particular alignment can hold a sense of aggression at times. Mars is the warrior planet, so it can kind of bubble up and amplify that sense of aggression within ourselves, within our lives, and within the world. So if you notice this kind of triggering, this kind of reactionary quality begin to amplify even more in yourself and around others as well, just to remember that we are going to be under this influence for many months to come. It officially begins next month, but we're already starting to kind of see it seep into our lives now. However, with that being said, any kind of aggression, any kind of triggering or something that really is bubbling up and ready to burst and just needs that sense of expression in the world, we can channel it. We can shift it and channel it into something that is beneficial. And it may not always be easy to remember to do that, especially if you are in that moment of triggering. But the moment that you can remind yourself to remain calm, that is the greatest act of confidence. And I have been loving this quote by the author Elizabeth Gilbert, where she said that the greatest act of power is, the greatest act of confidence is to remain calm. I think that's how it goes, which is beautiful. I think that if we remain calm and we find ways to remain calm, not only in the present moment, but in the times ahead, we can find a sense of strength within that. So to really return to that reminder, to remain calm, and therein lies your own sense of anchor. Therein lies your own sense of truth, because you can be the governor of your own reactions. You may not be able to govern how people are speaking to you or what they're sharing or how they are triggering you, but you can govern how you react to it. And that is an enormous superpower that we can offer ourselves in these times, is to really tend to our reactions, to know when to step away, to know when to use our breath as our greatest guide, and to also to develop strong practices of calm, to tend to our own well-being outside of any conversations, triggers that we may have. We can really up our game with our self-care, with our spiritual practices, our daily routines, so that we in turn are strengthening who we are and how we are able to handle our own emotions. So that will be a huge benefit, not only for the rest of this month, but as the rest of this year begins to pan out. So with that, we have this moon that's really going to shape the rest of this week, that will really bring quite a beautiful quality to it. It is a fiery new moon, but it's also a birthing quality to it, and it's allowing us to have that act of labor, have that act of creation, and also all about our role in the world, and bringing a sense of optimism, bringing a sense of leadership, of knowing what is possible now. And with leadership can come some vulnerability, but just like the lion, to be proud, even if we have moments of cowering in the corner, the cowardly lion that holds that sense of pride, but also that cowardness. So know that there's two sides of the coin, and we can rise up to be more of that empowered sovereign self, and to know that having some places of vulnerability, some places of weakness, or even if we're feeling scared and unsure of how these next steps are going to look for ourselves, that there's a lot of uncertainty in your creations or in your life, to know that you can latch on to that sense of empowerment, and to know that not everyone has it all figured out. No one has it all figured out. However, we move forward and we trust, and we latch on to the light of all that we are. We latch on to our own heart expressions of what we can share and offer in this world. Because these days and these months to follow will be about your heart sharing, of what you are ready to express in the world through your love, through your gifts. And the world needs that right now. So this is not a moment to hesitate or to shrink in size or to pretend as though you're not ready or to pretend as though you are not worthy to rise up to a new expression of who you are. Because who you are right now is exactly perfect, and it's exactly what the world needs at this time. So I would like to offer and share the channeled message for this particular week ahead as that element of hope and inspiration, and to remind us to not be afraid to really birth what we are birthing, and to move forward even in times of uncertainty, even in times of distress or dismantling in the world, that we can rise up and be that shape of love and expression, and to really let that be our shining light as we move ahead to the rest of this year. We have been plucked out of the old to begin to make sense of the pure potentials that lie at the heart of a new storm, a birth at times uncomfortable that holds the seed for new lightning, a lightening of old structures worn and ready to release. And as we rise in expansion within our own hearts, we remember the power we hold to unite our forces, not only in a tangible way, but as a bond and connection and unity for the times upon us. Allow your heart to beam the light that it knows how, as a beacon that lies in the path ahead for yourself and the many. So I leave you with that message for this week. If you need additional support, you can learn about my services at entelechivisions.com. I invite you to like and subscribe to this channel, as it does help to support the channel. I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead, a happy new moon, and thank you for listening.